In recent years, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency has intensified its efforts to combat the growing menace of drug trafficking abuse and the proliferation of illicit substances in Nigeria. Now, under the leadership of its current chairman, the agency has recorded significant milestones from high profile arrests, major drug seizures to enhance international collaborations and improved border control. Now, however, the fight against drug remains an ongoing challenge with evolving trafficking routes, emerging substances, and societal impact of drug abuse requiring very innovative and sustained strategies. I don't know how they come up with all of that, but in light of these developments, we seek to gain deeper insights on the agency's recent operations and future direction in Nigeria's war against drugs. And it's my pleasure to welcome my guest this morning, who is Director Media and Advocacy at the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, Mr. Femi Babafemi. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Itohan.
We had to drag him under the rain and he's here. Thank you so much.
Always my pleasure to be with
Always
you.
a pleasure to have you. Now, someone saw your picture on my profile yesterday and said this man is active on social media. Please help me ask him, how does he stay active? He makes it look as if NDLEA is the only agency that is working day and night. What's your response to that?
Yeah, my response would be first, well, thank God. We appreciate that acknowledgement, kind remarks from the person. And at the same time, when you what we do is a service to humanity. And when you serve humanity, you just have to pour in all within you. So that's exactly what we're doing. And not just at my level, just right from the leadership of the agency down to this, the lowest in the echelon of the agency. So that's because we just can't close our eyes to exactly what you just described now. That's the menace or the drug malady in our country, in our communities, in our society. We just have to do all we have to do to ensure that we save lives.
Okay, that's interesting. All right, now every single time we open up the newspaper headline, we'll see NDLEA confiscate this, NDLEA intercept this particular drug, NDLEA does this. There's collaboration, but the constant, nabbing of these people who carry drugs around is always very interesting. In fact, I look forward to your Sunday report because you just get fascinated by the new ideas they come up with to traffic drugs. Now, can you give us a number of, from the last time we met in December till now, how much drugs so far have you been able to confiscate?
Well, I'll tell you that cumulatively, let's say under the current leadership of the agency, in the last 3 years, we've had more than 7.6 million kilograms
My
of
goodness.
assorted illicit drugs. 7.6 million kilograms, that's about 7,600 tons. That's like put more than 200 trailers, 40-foot trailers together, line them up on the road. That's exactly
That's the
picture.
idea.
That's the idea. That's the picture. That's just picture that. That's exactly what that kind of huge seizures. That's probably one of the highest anywhere in the world within the time. I mean, within that time. Frame.
Okay.
Because indeed, the 2018 National Drug Use Survey opened our eyes in the country to actually the depth of this problem with 14.3 million Nigerians abusing illicit substances, and 10.6 million of them cannabis alone, which we grow here. And with the clampdown of the agency on the lower local growers, the local cultivation of that, we've also seen people now have to go out there to other jurisdictions, to Ghana here, to Canada, as far as Canada, US,
Okay.
to bring in, unfortunately, the most dangerous of the most dangerous strains or variants of this particular psychoactive substance. That's the synthetic ones, which
Oh,
are really very dangerous to their health. And but then, fortunately, we're on top of that. That's why we've actually been making huge seizures on the waterways, making huge seizures at the airport where they try to bring in all of these things, and even at the seaport as well, because for those coming from Canada, they try to put them in vehicles, what we call the Tokumbo
I
vehicles,
see.
as if that's what they are importing. But The vehicles are
A
just
cover
they
up
cover.
or a smoke screen.
Yes, most screen for actually
The
the
drugs.
drugs. They are this the variant we call loud. That's
I
mostly what.
see.
That's why you see a lot of our young people out there on the street. They say they miss Cana. That's Canadian loud. That's exactly
That's
what.
exactly.
Yeah, because we really try to tighten the noose on all the rules they try to bring in all of these things. And in people of recent, we arrested some three women who also tried to smuggle. You know what they have also devised is they try to say, okay, the agency, that's the NDLEA, has blocked the seaports, blocked the airports,
Okay.
and so they try now to bring these things to the neighboring countries, import them to the neighboring countries, and from there try to warehouse them there. The same thing with other drugs, with especially the opioids also, and then now try to bring them in through the land borders in bits. But then,
Oh,
because the agency has the capacity and the capability to monitor and track all of these things, so we're able to be steps ahead of them, and that's why you've been seeing quite a lot of seizures again through the land borders.
okay. All right. Now, also, I just wanted to find out from you, like, the impact level of the seizures. Has it also brought down the rate at which the demand for drugs has also has it reduced?
I'll tell you, just imagine 7.6 million kilograms. Just imagine a quarter of that, or even 10% of that in our communities. Just imagine
Yes.
the magnitude of devastation, the magnitude of impact or the effect of that on security, on lives, on public health. But then we're glad that now we have quite a lot of feedbacks that the prices are getting out of their control because of the access, I mean, the availability of some of this. And that's why you also seen, because this thing, it's an ailment.
Yes.
So they just have to be on something, high on
Yes. High
something.
on
And
something.
that's why you see, okay, if they cannot get cannabis, if they cannot get the opiates, that's the tramadol, the just this last week we made a seizure of 25 million pills of tapentadol. Tapentadol is another opioid that is three times stronger
Than
than
tramadol.
tramadol.
My goodness.
As in, tramadol alone, it's not what you take and you are at peace,
That's right.
because there are things that can damage your organs, that and even the milligram of what they are bringing in, they are out of hand, they are out of medical use.
Okay.
Yes, if in Nigeria, for instance, you can only, for medical use, is only permitted to bring between 50 and 100 milligram. But you find these people bringing in 225,
Oh my God.
250 milligram, and now somebody bringing in something that is three
Times
times
higher.
higher than that. I mean, why? Why do we do that? Why do I mean these are things done by our people?
Hmm.
And just imagine. But then we are glad that the agency, we have quite a lot of working relationship with our partners across the world, and so we have real time intelligence that are quickly processed and dealt with, and that's why just I mean like 25 million pills, and some 2 weeks ago about over 31 million pills
My
in at
goodness.
I think at One in Rivers,
In
Port
River
Harcourt.
State,
Yes,
yes.
seizure of this same drugs. So it's something huge. But then we're glad that we are now aligned. Just imagine what this would have done to the lives of our people
If
if
it
they
was,
had,
if it
yeah,
had
if
come
they
in.
had come in. And when coming to your question, whether this has impact, quite a lot of impact, because the feedback, we have quite a lot of these things that are out of their reach, out of their available, out of what used to be, what used to be the case.
Okay.
And then that's why, like where I was going, that's why you now see some of these young people, because it's an ailment, they have to turn to what we call the new psychoactive substances. They just create some measures, even ordinary paracetamol. They try to create it with
Just to
something,
get
yeah,
high.
just to get high. And that's why some of them, when they cannot even get any of those things, they go as low as going to inhale latrines. That's the
I hear they even go to gutters to, scoop
yeah, so all
gutters and
manner
all of
of
that.
things, just to, so that's why again we are working with other stakeholders to address the demand reduction. The demand reduction basically in the law enforcement, the agency, the NDLA is the lead agency in the country.
Yes.
But in the demand reduction, we have to work with quite a lot of stakeholders because it's something we need a whole of government and a whole of society approach in
Mm.
all of these
I
things.
see that you work with FRSC. How does how does that combination happen?
Yeah, we're having a lot of collaboration with some of these critical MDAs that
Okay.
other
Ministry, departments, and
yes,
agencies.
just to, for instance, at the moment I know there is a process in place with the Road Safety Corps
Yes.
for us to be conducting drug tests at drug integrity test for drivers at
Okay.
parks on the
Mm,
roads and
mm.
what have you in collaboration with the road safety just
Okay.
to make sure the whole essence of it. And that's why we've been pushing this advocacy for drug integrity tests.
I
And that's why
see.
you see a lot of schools also now are now demanding for this. They have bought into this advocacy. They are now demanding for this drug-free test, I mean, certificate from students, either returning or even fresh students, so as to um, first detect early those that are already on substances. For instance, if they are drivers, that will save a lot of lives because the moment you
Mm.
detect the guy is high on something,
You put
no,
him
you
aside.
can't put him aside. You
Mm.
can't take I mean tens of people on in your vehicle and be speeding on the
Mm.
highway,
Mm.
crashing,
Mm.
killing people and killing others who are even probably innocent on the other side of the road. That is for that the early detection, so that one, we can save lives, then get them treatment, get them help immediately,
Okay.
because it's an ailment where you have to treat them for that. And two, that also has its own deterrence effect,
Okay.
because when they know, like in a lot of homes, a lot of parents that have bought into this idea, now when their kids know that indeed their parents have the test kits, the NDLA test kits in their homes,
Mm.
now they are deterred. Meaning that if they go out, they have it at the back of their mind that if they get back home, it's
Their
like,
fathers will test them.
yeah, it's likely that their mother or their father will call them aside and say, "Oh boy, come and urinate in this thing.
Oh.
Let me check you." I've seen quite a lot of friends.
So these kits are available for anyone to pick
Absolutely,
up.
absolutely.
Okay.
They're all in NDLA's offices across the country. I've seen friends that are, even me as a person, I've had to, because of I mean, the kind of call, the volume of calls we get every day. Friends, people we know needing help for their loved ones, for their kids, for their world. So even some people, when they come to me, I give that as a gift.
As
I
a
buy that as a
gift.
gift to them,
Oh.
because they need these things in their home, so that
They can
if there
keep
are
up.
issues early, they
Okay.
can
They can
detect and
dictate
get
it.
help for their loved ones. And in addition to that, that I have seen where a friend told me that indeed that thing you keep there is making him feel uncomfortable.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's better you feel uncomfortable with that thing and not do the wrong thing outside.
Mm.
That's exactly what we're driving, and that those are part of the issues. Those are part of the initiatives we're putting in place to address. In I mean, that's along with a whole lot of others. I
Mm.
mean, there has to be the issue of I mean, people's I mean, work, employment, job availability of jobs, a lot of socio-economic issues. All of those things have to go along as protective factors.
Okay.
And again, what we're doing now, raising awareness, is all part of it. And that's why the agency has what you call the War Against Drug Abuse wider social advocacy initiative, going to schools, marketplaces, workplaces, everywhere,
Mm.
communities, to sensitize the people, to let them know the dangers inherent in abuse of these illicit substances and
Yeah.
ganja.
All in between. But
Absolutely.
that's interesting. We're still speaking with the Director Media and Advocacy NDLEA, Mr. Femi Babafemi is live with us in the studio. So if you have questions, you can send it via WhatsApp 0909 697 5943, or call in between. I'll take your calls 0902 199 9943. That's 0902 199 9943. I also want to find out from Mr. Femi, how do you also change your tactics, because sometimes you feel like, oh, this is what they do, this is how they do it, but we've also seen people put drugs inside palm oil, put drugs inside. I saw one inside bra. They had to
Mhm.
sew it into bras. I've seen containers for baby food. How do you guys also change tactics?
Yeah, that's the fact that we are dictating all of those modes of concealment means that we are steps and way ahead of them. First, we have our officers and men have been exposed to a lot of trainings
Okay.
within and outside of the country. Two, we also have we work. Our operations are 100% intelligence led, meaning that we depend largely and hugely on a lot of intelligence, either gathered through what you call human intelligence or through technology. We work with all of those things. We rely heavily on that, as well as the use of technology to keep pace and keep track of all of these developments. So
Okay.
those are things coming in place. And for instance, some of these people, even when they know that the agency has quite a lot of systems in place, to they still try. For instance, this is not something that is out yet. We'll probably be releasing a statement on this. Just this last week, there was somebody who was arrested last year, July, in Abuja here at the Abuja airport, coming in to the country from Angola. He was caught with cocaine in his system.
Mm.
After some days in observation, he excreted them. He was prosecuted and he was jailed. But unfortunately, he was sentenced to, I think, 2 years imprisonment and given an option of 2 million naira fine,
Fine.
which he paid.
And he's out.
He's out. And again, the same person, just this last week, was
Came back
arrested.
again.
Was arrested at our airport in Lagos, where he was caught with cocaine worth billions of naira. The way he tried to beat the agency at the airport will amaze you, but I'll keep that till,
Till the report is
till the
released. I
report is
can't wait for
released.
that report to be released at this point. But you've given me a hint of how you stay ahead of these people.
Yeah.
Now that brings me to the part what you just mentioned about persecution. How does the NDLEA go through all of this work and the court gives an option of a fine? Are you working with, these other party stakeholders to ensure that people are actually punished for their offenses?
Yeah, absolutely. We have to commend the judiciary for for being committed as well to this whole issue for a good understanding. But then one thing that we're not too pleased with is this option of fine. And that because from available statistics, these same people, honestly, when they are out, they still go back to the same thing. And that's why in recent time you see two people that had done the same thing who were convicted in one case, and they got option of fine. They were let even another one jumped bail.
Mm.
His case had not even been concluded. He jumped bail and still went to procure another passport. The same thing with the current person I'm talking about
Yes, that was caught in
that was caught
Lagos.
in Lagos. He procured another passport to go on another trip.
My
You know,
goodness.
so how we try to address this is through the amendment of the Agencies Act, which actually removes that option of fine. That option of fine, because more often than not, we discover that these people, when they are given option of fine, because they are rich, they have the
They can
money,
afford
they
it
can afford it. So somebody who was convicted for 2 years and given an option of 2 million naira fine readily paid there and was
and
out.
moved on.
And then the next thing, he even went to commit a greater one. For instance, he was arrested in Abuja before last year for bringing in cocaine, 1.9 kilograms of cocaine. But in this case, he was arrested for bringing in about 20 kilograms
Hmm.
of cocaine.
My
That's
God.
huge.
That's
Do you
huge.
know what that means in naira and kobo? That's a
Oh
lot
my
of money.
God.
So, and what he tried to do will amaze you. I mean, as in how the minds of these people work. And in another climb, he would have gone away with it.
I
I'm telling you, he
see.
would have gone away with it, but for the vigilance of our officers, for their professionalism, they
Hmm.
were able to get. Let me give you a hint. He actually came in with two similar bags, one as hand luggage, the other checked in.
Okay.
Then he, because they already, before, like I said, we work on intelligence.
Yes.
So before he came, our men already
Well, a
an
lot.
alert. They, because before you come in, they already know who and who is coming in. So they will have to pull him aside, search him, search the bag, and there was nothing. So he was let go. But somehow he sneaked back to the Covios area and exchanged the bag
That was checked
that
in.
was checked in with the one he had carried as handlug because they're the same.
Oh, I see.
Meanwhile, the one that was checked, there was the one that had the huge
Oh.
consignment. So
Oh.
after picking that, then he now tried to, but our men would not, because of
Oh
their
my
vigilance, they were able to do a
goodness.
secondary check on him, and that was how
They
they.
found it
Just
out.
imagine, in another client, that kind of a guy would just go, because
Scot free
yeah,
because they are similar
it's the
bags. You
same
will
bag.
think you
It's
have
the same
checked it.
person you had checked.
Oh
So you
my
understand the same bag,
God.
the same person you had checked, and so that's the ingenuity
Hmm.
of these guys. But then, because we're glad that indeed we have a good leadership of the agency that exposes a lot of, I mean, our personnel, our officers and men to a lot of trainings, to a lot of new techniques, to a lot of technology, to the
Yes.
use of technology. I'll tell you, the NDLA, it's one of the best in the world. I'll
Hmm.
tell you that.
I can see that. We see that on social media. You're all very active on social media, and there's this thing you do every week with the on the X space where you
Yeah,
talk to medical doctors, professional
yeah,
stakeholders concerning the matter. And as of last week, you hit your 100 plus
yeah.
episodes, which is very interesting. So you're constantly on social media talking to the youth, not
Be-
just
yes,
catching people,
no, no, no,
but
no, no.
training and educating.
Exactly, because we know that quite a lot of our young people, they spend up to 70-80% of their time on social media. So we have to go there to engage with them. Say,
Hmm.
okay, if this is where you spend your time, this is where you copy a lot of these bad
Vices.
vices. So we also have to get you the right message for you to understand that what those things you are trying to play with or you are trying to catch fun with
Hmm.
is not just about fun. At the end of that fun, you have quite a lot of health issues to deal with, and that's exactly what we're doing. Bringing, not just limiting it to the agency, but taking it to others
Hmm.
who will be objective in their analysis, in their explanations, in the knowledge and information they share, so that you can also hear from people who are professionals in this field, so that you can learn something new and well equipped
Yeah.
with the right information to be able to take the right decisions when you are confronted with that kind of
Situation.
situation.
All right, we have a call quickly. Someone has been itching to talk to you. I was just waiting for you to land. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, hello, good morning.
Yes,
This
good
is
morning.
Arome.
Aroma, you're welcome. Please go ahead.
Yeah, calling from Dubai.
All right, go on, please.
All right, so who is the NDLEA? They are dealing with the news we read on time. They are quite scary. But so I would want to ask you so often times you see celebrities, like maybe in their music video, in their whatever they do, they tend to push out this narrative of the good life taking, smoking, or I don't know, smoking weed and all that. But apparently it's weed because from the color of what they are smoking. So I don't know what the NDA is doing around that area about, maybe getting celebrities into, like for example, all of Nayabali's people, you see smoking very good, and all that. So you think a lot of them. So I don't know what the NDA is doing around instance like that.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Rome is talking about celebrities showcasing, drug use via their
Actually,
videos and their work.
glorifying and glamorizing.
Glorifying, exactly. That's the word. That's the word, truly.
Yeah, thank you, Rume. We appreciate that. It's a question that constantly comes to us, but then it's something we at our level we're doing all that we need to do through that is the stick and the carrot approach. That is when we need to wield the stick, we wield the stick. That is when they need to be arrested. You've seen quite a lot of instances where we have arrested some of these people when they are found with these illicit substances, and on the other hand, again, we have also engaged with them to let them understand, because quite a lot of time they do these things out of ignorance. They do these things to promote their content, to promote their business, but then we let them know that what they are churning out is not just for them alone. You have millions of followers, you are a role model to millions of young people, and so you are misleading them, because the way you glamorize this thing, you make it look as if that's the way of life, that's the thing. So in order to avoid them using their platforms to create a drug subculture, we also engage with them, and that's why we work with them as individuals those that we know that we have access to. Then we also work with them at the level of their associations, like the
Hmm.
Performing Musicians Association of Nigeria. We have
Okay.
visited the chairman of the agency, had led the delegation to engage with them, to stay in touch with them so that they can continue to impress on their membership to avoid creating content or music content that would glorify or glamorize illicit substances, thereby misleading millions of our youth. That's again, we have at the level of the Nollywood people. We also work with the Guild of Nollywood Actors, the Guild of Actors of Nigeria. We
Okay.
also work with the leadership, and I mean, from time to time, they are in touch with us, even when they are at locations. They try to exchange information and all
Yeah,
of those
yeah,
things with us.
I see some movies, that help
Yeah,
to, de-promote the use of
exactly.
drugs.
That's that. Then again, but in what Rume was trying to bring out, that is the videos, the content they put out there. Those are beyond our own laws. That is, we have a body. Unfortunately, recently we have that body, that's the National Films and Video Censors Board, which has come out to say that they have to, some of these things have to pass through them
Before they
before
go
I mean, for
online
their approval before they're allowed online. I would be glad if that is really enforced,
first.
because that will check the things Rume is
He's
complaining
complaining
about.
about. All
Yeah.
right, someone just is asking a question. Anita is saying, "What's with the trend of abuse of recreational drugs by youth lately, and what's the agency doing about rehabilitation? Recreational drugs."
Yeah, recreational drugs, quite a lot of for instance, first we still approach this through law enforcement, and at the same time through sensitization.
Okay.
And for those that are already struggling with this, we also provide help to them. For them, that's either through rehabilitation, through treatment, through counseling. And that's why we know, this is a public health issue, and so we manage it very well to avoid creating stigmatization, or to avoid creating fear in the minds of people, especially those that are struggling with this. They want to come out of it, but they are afraid that if they go out publicly to seek help, they will be stigmatized and what have you. We have quite a lot of issues like that we
Okay.
have handled professionally. And so one of the things the agency had done was to create a call center where we have experts like you will find in a physical building, that is from counselors to clinical psychologists, psychotherapists, psychiatric doctors. All of them work at that call center 24/7,
Okay.
every day of the week.
Okay.
And um, the call to that call center is toll free. You call our
What's
line
the
there.
number?
The number is 0800 10203040, 0800 10, 20, 30, 40.
40.
Anybody can call that line from the comfort of their homes, from any part of the country. It's toll free. You have all of these experts on the line who assess your situation, attend to you. Some of these issues they can handle through what you call teletherapy, other psychosocial support services, or if they discover that in the assessment of your situation, in their interaction with you, they discover that the situation has gotten to a point that the person needs to be checked into a rehab center. They have
Okay.
the map of all the rehab facilities across the country, either those of the agency or some other government institutions. They then refer you to those places and follow up with you on your treatment there. So that way, really nobody has an excuse not to seek support, not to seek
Help.
treatment help, when they are afflicted with this problem.
All right.
Again, another thing that service offers is language sensitive, meaning that because we know that especially those in the rural areas who may not be able to speak English or pidgin English, that they can attend to them through any of the three major Nigerian languages of Hausa, Yoruba, Igbo.
Okay. So
I'm
you
sure
have option.
Itohan, you probably want me to say.
Edo. But
I know you want me to say, but
I was waiting for you. But as you stopped, I said, "Okay, it is well. Well,
Very
our
well.
own language will
I know,
come
I
later."
know, I know, I know. You come. Know a lot of pidgin. A lot of your people speak a lot of
Yes,
pidgin. So
pigeon.
yeah,
So
that's
pigeon
why.
will be pigeon.
Yeah, I mean, we cover you.
Yes, we
You are
cover.
well
Yeah, we
covered.
are covered. We are covered. It's okay. We will forgive you for that. Anyway, and it's been really interesting talking to you. But I also want to find out from you. Why is Nigeria looking like the hub for this, constant influx of drugs? Like, why is Nigeria like a hub for that?
Yes, quite a lot of factors are
It keeps me
responsible.
up at night when I think about it.
Yes, and the number one issue is our population. makes Nigeria a target for this, especially when you look at the opioids.
Yes.
The opioids we have seized in the last 2 3 months, they are worth more than 50 billion naira.
My God.
Opioids alone. That's tramadol, tapentadol, and codeine alone in
Alone.
the last 2 3 months. You wonder, are you coming to
What's
come and
happening?
even me? I ask myself, are these people? And this is come from, I mean, some other jurisdictions. For us, we try to protect as much as possible here our borders to ensure that nothing goes out to other jurisdictions. And that's why the NDLA is well rated globally because quite a lot of our partners, and that's why they are coming in partnership, in relationship with us to collaborate with us.
Especially with Interpol.
Yes, Interpol, US Drug Enforcement Administration in US, that's Border Force in the UK, National Crime Agency in the UK, and quite a lot, including our partners in India, Brazil, the French police, the German police, those in Saudi, and even within West Africa sub-region here. All of these people, and for those, we also provide support for some of them. We provide training for some of them, and all of those collaboratory efforts. But then, first, our targets. I mean, our population mix. I mean, where you have a population of over 200
200
million people.
million.
So that's and especially because of our youth population,
Yes.
because they know some of these things, especially the opioids and the cannabis thing. It's actually the youth that are really crazy about these things. So that's why they target us. Like imagine, like in the last 2 3 weeks alone, we've made seizure of more than 31 million in honor, 25 million in think, and just
Oh
last
my
week made
goodness.
seizures of more than 50 million pills of opioid, in addition to
And they
hundreds
are
of
coming
thousands
in their
in their
numbers.
numbers. And another thing we're doing is going into partnership, that's memorandum of understanding with some of these source countries, where we call source countries, where these things are coming
Coming
from.
from.
Yeah, so that they can also do some things at their end to check the
They
influx,
trickle down,
yeah, of
right?
these things, because
Okay.
we are doing our best there to ensure that nothing goes to their side. So they should also be able to do what they ought to do to also protect these things. I mean, get block these things from coming to our side, and we're making progress in that regard. We have already signed an MOU with the Narcotics Bureau in India, so we're hoping that all of that will have impact, will have effect on this the influx of these things from that part of the world.
All right, let's see if this voice note is for us.
Mr. Babafemi, well done for the good job you're doing. And I'm sorry I cannot type because my hands are kind of. That's why I'm reading a voice note. I'm hoping that it will be listened to. I'm trying to buttress Mr. Babafemi's point concerning censoring some of these music videos. The truth of the matter is the board that is in charge of that, I think they're doing more than enough because if you notice, Mrs. Itohan, if you notice, most of those music videos are not shown on our local channels here. There's a censor, yes, they actually do not show them. We have cable TV, we have smart channels right now. People air these things from, it's not like they do it online, they watch it online. So I think basically the point I'm trying to make here is that parental control is what is key in the aspect of what is being urged. Because just like your guest rightly said, the musicians are also trying to promote their own content. But yes, it is important that in the course of promoting your own content, you also allude to the fact that it is not just for your own consumption.
Okay.
So I'm trying to portray the fact that it is not solely the censor board's job. Cable TV are also liable because, for example, there are music channels. I don't want to start mentioning names of those music channels that first thing in the morning, this is what they air. Anytime you tune to their channel, that's what you're seeing. They
Okay.
don't have the censor board do not have control over this
the
channels.
online
Thank
channels.
you.
All right, thank you very much. I like the angle she took it from.
Absolutely, it's
Yes.
actually very key. She laid a, I mean, she made a very good observation there, and
Mm,
that's the fact that which we have also been emphasizing, parenting.
mm.
I mean, in the days when some of us were growing up, there are things you dare not do
Yeah, drugs is
because,
one of them.
yeah, because your parents' eyes are on you.
Mm,
The fear that your parents would check you, would do this, would do that. That
yes.
one is there, keeps us constantly in check.
Yes.
But no more these days. You have quite a lot of parents that care less about what they are. I mean, the time their children go out, the kind of friends they keep, and I mean the kind of things that they have in their rooms.
Mm,
So now we need to have what we call intentional parenting. We need a lot of parents to actually wake up to their responsibility, because sometimes, unfortunately, you can't confront them with that fact when the ships are down,
that's
when they
right.
keep coming, when they come to us crying and seeking help, because these things don't just blow
Happen
out of
overnight.
proportion overnight.
Mm-hmm.
These things started from somewhere. You must have lost control or
At some
sight, yeah,
point.
at some point. So that's why we keep working with other non-governmental organizations, civil society organizations, faith-based organizations, community-based organizations, to sensitize parents, either at the level of our worship centers, our churches, our mosques, or in the community, so that they can wake up to their
Their
responsibility.
responsibility.
These children are not just brought to the world to abandon. No, you have a responsibility to them. You have to know what they do. You have to know what they take. You have to know what they drink. You have to know the kind of friends they mingle with. You
Mm,
have to know what's in their backpack when they are coming back home. I mean, somebody that used to be, being within the family circle in the living room every day. I mean, playing with everybody, and suddenly started getting, withdrawn,
isolated.
isolated. You don't care. You are not looking what is the cause, what's happening.
That's
Or
right.
somebody that used to, sleep in the night, wake up like every other normal person during the daytime, and suddenly is the same person that now sleeps during
During
the
the day.
daytime
And is
and is
awake at
awake at
night.
night. You
Mm,
don't care what's happening. I mean, them all of these changes, they are all red flags that a lot of parents overlook, and
mm.
then by the time they wake up to it, it becomes, it's already out of
Out
their
of
control.
control. Oh, that's interesting. Well, it's at that point we live it. Thank you so much, Mr. Femi Babafemi. A few highlights he made was that parents can get drug kits. Not just parents, anyone
Anybody,
can have
anybody,
access
yeah.
to their drug kits. All you need to do is walk into any NDLEA office around Nigeria, and you can have access to these kits. Also, if you know someone who needs help as quickly as possible, they can call this number 0800 1020 3040. This is a very important number that everyone should have handy. The number again is 0800 1020 3040. And we want to say a big thank you to our guest this morning, who is Director Media and Advocacy at the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, Mr. Femi Babafemi. I'm awaiting that statement that you're about to put up because I want to read the entire thing. I still want to satisfy myself with that content. And from everyone who's called in today, good job. For always putting those things out there. But it's not just enough to stop the drugs from coming. We also need to prevent our kids from taking
Okay,
them.
absolutely.
So that's another major highlight we're taking away from this conversation. We were not able to exhaust all the questions because it's
We
never
can
enough. It's
never.
never enough. Time is never enough. But thank you for your contribution
We
so far
appreciate.
on the big talks today.